Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Prabhakachaya Ashtatara Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Prabhakachaya Ashtatara Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिनाथ श्याम कुंज राधा कुंज गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Good morning. We are reading this morning in the words Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are going through the 9 processes of devotion service explained by Prahlad Maharaj. So today I actually want to do the translation because I haven't done this yet. Just for my own benefit. I hope others can benefit from this as well. Shri Paradivacha Shravanam Kirtam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Arjanam Bandham Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam Iti Pum Sarpita Vishnu Bhaktishchena Navalakshana Kriyeta Bhagavati Adha Tanmayeti Tam Uttamam. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with mind, body, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. So the past couple of days we've been reading through this, and now we are at 4, Pada Sevanam. According to one's taste and strength, hearing, chanting, and remembrance may be followed by Pada Sevanam. One one obtains the perfection of remembering when one constantly thinks of the lotus feet of the Lord. Being intensely attached to thinking of the Lord's lotus feet is called Padasevanam. When one is particularly adherent to the process of Padasevanam, this process gradually includes other processes, such as seeing the form of the Lord, touching the form of the Lord, circumambulating the form or temple of the Lord, visiting such places as Jagannath Puri, Dwarka, and Mathura to see the Lord's form, and bathing in the Ganges or Yamuna. Bathing in the Ganges and serving a pure Vaishnava are also known as Tadiya Pasanam. This is also Padasevanam. The word Tadiya means in relationship with the Lord. Service to the Vaishnava, Tulasi, Ganges, and Yamuna are included in Padasevanam. All these processes of Padasevanam help one advance in spiritual life very quickly. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Gaura Bhakta Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Devi Swami Iti Nami Shari Purva Dakshin Shara Bhakti Shabhini Taparata Tapikarni Sarvijitena Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Nami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurapani Pacharine Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paschatya Deshatarine Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. All right. I pray for all of your blessings to say something beneficial.
Hare Krishna, could you just move the mic closer? I can hardly hear you. Thank you, Bhavan.
Mm-hmm. Give me one moment. Okay, how about now?
I think it's a little bit better.
A little bit better? Okay. Okay.
Is the mic plugged in at the other end? Because I can't hear anything.
Yeah. The mic is plugged in on this end.
That's better now.
That's sounding better now.
Okay. You can hear me. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
good.
Okay. Jai. I am praying for, thank you. I'm praying for all of your blessings to be able to say something purposeful and of substance. So Padasevanam, attachment and service to the lotus feet of the Lord, not only just to the Lord directly, because we know that the Vaishnavas are very dear to the Lord. The pure devotees of the Lord are very dear to him. So in relationship, those who serve those that we love them intensely. So in this world, attachment is our nature. We can never be detached. There will never be a point where we are detached. Either we are, if we seem detached, we are placing our attachment into something else. And so we always have vested interests And I was just thinking about this word vested interests because the material world thrives on investments and what else? Economic development, economic success. And so I was thinking about vested interests. And so I decided to look it up, and the definition, according to Cambridge, is a strong personal interest in something because you could get an advantage from it. Now, we come to this material world to control and enjoy, obviously separate of the Lord. So, since He is very merciful unto us, a very merciful Father, He says, okay, you want to enjoy? I have this perfect place just for you. You go and you see how you like it, and you let me know. And so, in all circumstances, we have vested interests, whether it seems that way or not. And with investment comes attachment. You want to see the results of where you put your energy, your time, and your money. And in Bhagavad Gita, it says, we know from such attachment, lust develops, then anger, then complete delusion, and bewilderment of memory, loss of intelligence, so on until we fall back into this material pool. And so we can put our investments or vested interests into multiple things. And so one way that we can have vested interest is in man. We can have vested interest in man being either my friend or my spouse or my family, my father, my mother, my brother, my sister, or even my own self. But when we have invested interests in man, this is essentially just us wanting to please our own senses. And we see, okay, if I put a vested interest in my child, in any of these um, relationships with man, mind, the body, then um, I will get some sort of sense gratification from it. So we can think, people who have great ideas for what their child is going to be, even before their child comes to this earth. My child is going to be this, and they're going to be just like me, and we're going to have this kind of relationship, and they're going to like that, and I'm going to support them in this way, and they're going to take care of me when I'm retired. And some people get that, and most of the time, people do not get that. And you can see that it leads to things like estrangement, where, if somebody's child turns out not in the way that they intend, they say, okay, I'm way too invested in the interest of you pleasing my senses by being a certain way that you not doing that, I have to detach from you because I'm not willing to let go of that attachment into who you are, who you should be in my mind. It is also this also comes up in many ways, not just in like interpersonal dealings, but also even in career that's vested interests in man, because we think, okay, well, my boss tells me I'm so great. And, the boss calls you in and is like, hey, I see you've been doing great work. I see that you're an amazing communicator. You know what? We have an opportunity for you. We would love you to be the firing manager. It's getting really hard here. Times are getting very tough. So since you are an amazing communicator, we've seen you do it time and time again. Wow. Um, we need you to lay these people off. So you do that. And we can say, to ourselves, okay, hey, I need to advance in my career. They are telling me that I'm doing these great things. I love that because I might, I might make it up in this company and then I'll really be enjoying. And you you try to make it up and do whatever you can, trusting and having your vested interest in man, your boss, this company or corporation. And you kind of do some maybe not so auspicious or pious things along the way, but no need to worry about that because, your invested interests are in making it up. And then it gets to the point where you're like, I'm doing a great job. I've laid off a couple people. We're moving forward. The company is, really giving me a pat on the back. I'm really doing things. And then, there's a meeting, somebody calls you in and they say, hey, you've been doing an amazing, amazing job. Sadly, I hate to say it, we just don't have any more money in the budget for you and your role. Actually, AI is taking it over, so I'm really sorry you no longer work here anymore. And you probably don't see that coming. You probably don't see that coming. You think, oh my gosh, I invested so much time and energy into this place, into these people. They told me that I was great. Like, why me? Because when we are invested in man, the mind and the body of men, including ourselves, then what we fail to realize, if we do not have the knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, that we will always succumb to illusion, bewilderment. What are the four? Illusion, bewilderment, loss of memory, loss of intelligence, all the four, just the four defects. We will succumb to them. So not only us will succumb to them, but any man that we decide, hey, I'm going to put some investment into this. That's very shaky ground. We can't stand on that. And so it will somehow or other fall. And if you think, hey, I'm doing good today, it's just them, they're just going through this, then we fail to realize that it is them today and it is you tomorrow. So the second highest way that we can have some vested interest is morality and virtue, which is definitely much more stable than having vested interest in man who is always prone to mistakes. And saying, you know what, I understand. I've read some scriptures, maybe the Bible. I've read some books, maybe Plato, Socrates. I understand that there is morality and I should invest my time, energy, thoughts, actions into upholding this morality. And it can look like, upholding the truth, being righteous, no matter what the case is, even if it's on yourself, even if you find yourself in a situation and you're lying or something happens, you have that greater investment into morality. You're not just the mind and what comes up in the body. That's great. That's another level. So you say, okay, I'll invest myself into morality. I will always be safe if I invest myself into morality because that morality is the highest, then morality is the highest object of the material world. And so we can invest ourselves in being morally conscious and upright. And this investment is more stable, like I said, in faith in man because man is conditioned. And I was listening to the audiobook of Mahabharat. And when Yudhisthira Maharaj was speaking to Drupada, when they finally went to Drupada to, you know, get married officially with Draupadi, um, Drupada was very, very, very confused and shocked that Yudhisthira Maharaj would come to him and basically present that his daughter was to be married with 5 men at once. And he was like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. And Yudhisthira Maharaj says that morality is subtle and it's all based on circumstance. So even though morality is higher than man, it's the highest object of the material world. So it's still not it's still not stable. It's very shaky because ultimately we know this material world is not the absolute. Whether we are at Brahmaloka or whether we are at the very bottom below pits of hell. No matter where we are, it is not stable ground. And so an example of this is Arjuna on the battlefield, where when I was really reading and looking into like what Arjuna was actually saying, he's saying his skin is burning. His skin is burning and his mouth is dry. And he's like choking up. And have you ever gotten to the point where you're so scared? I don't know if anybody's had this experience as well. I mean, probably because you have a body as well, but um, where you get so scared of something that your whole body just gets extremely hot, or even very angry, like how the saying comes when your blood boils. But I've had the experience where I'm like, I do not know what's about to happen right now. And it's your your body is just extremely hot. And yeah. So Arjuna was facing all this, extremely bewildered because he's looking across the field and he's thinking to himself, before he even sees the battlefield, he's thinking, okay, um, they they want to go to war with us. Let me see who is lined up to fight with the impious um Duryodhana, I think Duryodhana. And when he sees that it's all of his family members, especially very, very, very respected elders, he gets extremely scared because it's getting very real to him that, wait, fight these, I have to fight these people who are my kinsmen, who, you know, trained me even in this military arts. I have to fight with these people, these very, very, very exalted people. I can't do this. I can't do this. I rather just die in the battlefield, or I'd rather just go live out in the forest. And that is that's very morally upright and very virtuous of him to think that, not wanting to kill your family members. You'd say, I'd rather just die myself. I do not want to cause any harm to them. I love them. I'd rather just die myself. But then Krishna has to step in, and Krishna says, Ashyochan anvashochastvam. You are lamenting for that which is not worthy of grief. And I mean, it's a very transcendental situation, obviously, but imagine you are just absolutely scared. You do not know what is to happen next. You can never imagine the situation in a million years, and your friend looks to you and says, you're lamenting. for that which is not worthy of grief. Come on. So yeah, it's very amazing, but it's very amazing that Arjuna himself gets the association of the Lord in that way to actually be able to move past this investment in morality to actually then the next level investing in having vested interest in the lotus feet of the Lord. So during this whole, throughout the whole Gita, Krishna is explaining to Arjuna and everyone on the battlefield the transcendental science. And as we also are reading this too, we can see, like, I remember when I was first reading it, I could just see, oh my gosh. And I thought I was doing so good. And I thought that was really making sense, you know, but I could see through the mercy of Bhagavad Gita that, yeah, no, this morally might make sense, but on a transcendental level, it is not actually helping you and it is not helping anyone. And that is ignorance. And that is ignorance, no matter, how great you think this service is, it's an ignorance. And so, yeah, that just sticks out in my mind because I remember the one thing when I was reading Bhagavad Gita for the first time that was like sticking out to me was charity in the mode of ignorance. Like charity in the mode of ignorance was like just stabbing me. And I was thinking to myself, wow, 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 this is what I have been doing. Just like, oh, I think I'm helping someone. Oh, here, like, take this money or take this or do that. And then the person doesn't necessarily even have the consciousness to do something proper with that or to, get some prasad with that or, anything. And you're not helping yourself and you're not helping them. And morally, you can think, okay, I'm doing good. I'm helping my fellow man. I'm doing good. But as you read, you see actually these things that I thought were morally upright, which very well maybe don't actually make sense in the grand scheme of things. Um, as Krishna explains, not only to Arjuna, but to us. So then we have Pada Sevanam. So those who are fortunate, such as ourselves, to get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission is we get the understanding of there really truly is nothing other than serving the lotus feet of the Lord and being attached to the lotus feet of the Lord. We can try to invest ourselves into so many things, and we can think that we're doing great. We can think, okay, if I follow man and I do what man tells me to do, then I'm going to make it and I'm going to have a successful life. But when you really look at the words of the Lord in Bhagavad Gita and the stories in Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see that actually you are sending yourself straight to hell by following man. We should never be following man, including ourselves and our own mind and body and what comes up in that, because guaranteed something is always going to come up. And so when we invest ourselves in Pada Sevanam, in attaching ourselves to the lotus feet of the Lord and serving the lotus feet of the Lord, not only just directly to the Lord, like, forget everybody else. It's just me and Krishna's sweet little baby feet. When we actually serve the pure Vaishnav devotees of the Lord, whether we realize it or not, Agyata Sukriti, we can never lose. And so when we attach ourselves to these investments, whether it be in man, whether it be in morality, just things in the material world, we sometimes put on blinders. We don't want to see, what is coming up. If you invest yourself into, whatever relationship, insert whatever relationship, if something comes up, maybe a lie, maybe maybe some bad behavior, maybe someone is, maybe stealing, then you're like, oh no, 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 I'm not going to look at that, because that person, I need to have vested interest in that person to be who I need them to be. I can't see them in this way, or I can't even check them. I can't check them, because then our relationship is at stake, and I can't have that. But when we start to gradually release ourselves from investing in the objects of the objects of the senses, whether it be just directly with ourselves or trying to get it through other people, we're always going to fall. We're always going to fall. And so we put on these blinders because we don't want to be losers. We don't want to be losers. Who puts money into the stock market to lose it? Who invests money into a high yield savings account just to lose it? Who puts, like, nobody invests their time, money, energy, or anything just to lose it. And so Krishna affirms to us that even a little bit of service, even a little bit of endeavor on this path can never be lost. So really, Pada Sevanam is so greatly important, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. It's so greatly important because we never want to lose our investment, but we have to, with each and every single situation, each and every single circumstance that we engage in, whether it be with ourselves or other people or our own thoughts, we have to think, where am I truly investing my interest? Where am I truly investing my interest? Because we can do a lot of endeavoring, a lot of mental gymnastics to keep investing in man and keep investing in morality. And not saying investing in morality is a bad thing, but we know that above that is pada sevanam, actually attaching and investing into the lotus feet of the Lord. Because if something comes up about yourself that you do not like, we can say, that's okay. That's okay, because I'm not invested in seeing myself in a particular way. I'm invested in serving the lotus feet of the Lord. We chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, every single day, so we can cleanse the heart, cleanse the mirror of the heart. And when you're cleaning, especially like a deep clean, things are going to look very scary and very messy. And we just have to go through with that process. But it gets much harder if we're also simultaneously trying to have vested interest in seeing ourselves in a particular way, seeing our relationship in a particular way. I need to see it in this way, and if it looks any other way, I don't want to look. But if we really have vested interest in the highest, being Pada Sevanam and serving the Vaishnav devotees of the Lord, then we can let all of those things go when the dirt comes up. We can just say, hey, that's dirt, sweep it up, clean it up. And we have amazing, amazing, friends and community around us that you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. We will all come together and help each other clean up the mess, and we'll say, okay, let's just get it together. That just because you had a dirty room doesn't mean anything about you. Just because this is dirty, I'm not, nobody is judging. We're just cleaning together and really attaching ourselves to the lotus feet of the Lord, because when we do that, we can never lose. That is all I have Oh, last one of my favorite verses. I think about this, or at least I try to like memorize it so I can think about it. Um, 1857 Bhagavad Gita. Chetasa sarva karmani mai sanyas yamadpara bhut yogam upashritya machata satatam bhava. When we are thinking of the Lord, we are under his protection. We are under his protection. If we just think of him 24 hours a day, not of ourselves, not of, how we're going to make it up in the company, not how we're going to do things and how we think it may look the best to tell society that we're great people. Actually thinking of actually thinking of Krishna when we are doing his devotional service, whether it be direct service or indirect service. He's always protecting us. He is always protecting us. And that protection will never cease to be, will never cease to be. In the material world, we might have the protection of, oh, I have a rich family. In the material world, we might have a protection of, oh, I'm in a very good position and I'm very highly respected and I have a lot of money. Um, but all of that is temporary. The only thing that we really truly do have that is stable is our connection to the Lord and his service and his protection. So long as we think of him, so long as we are actively trying to serve him. And that is all I have. Okay, so please forgive me for any mistakes, any inconsistencies, and also please let me know so I can do better. But any comments, questions, subtractions, additions? Thank you, Yashode Prabhu. Not everybody all at once.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Bhava Prabhu. I want to thank you for a very nice class. And I want to say that I think this is maybe the second time I've heard you give a class. And I was really impressed the first time because I think it might have been the first time for you also. And it was actually a really good class. I appreciated, in particular, um, you seem to be completely undaunted, and you express something about just diving in and depending upon Krishna, which was really an extraordinary devotional attitude, and that impressed me. That's actually the way that that one is successful in giving class, that we depend upon Krishna, and Krishna gives us the words to express something about him. Um, anyway, I'm impressed. You give a nice class. You do a nice job, and I'm thinking you're a relatively new devotee, but it doesn't show. Um, you appear to be. You sound like someone who's been doing this for a long time, and I derive a lot of benefit from hearing. So I appreciate very much. Anyway, I just want to thank you for giving a nice class. One of the things that I notice is that sometimes, particularly newer devotees, will be nervous when they're giving a class and trying to define something to say. And that I don't notice that when you give a class. You seem to be speaking from just it's just rolling off your tongue with ease because you're speaking from realization. It's not that you're trying to express something that you read but didn't necessarily understand, just trying to repeat something that devotees will appreciate, but you're speaking from your own practical realization, things that you have actually understood. And that makes your words much more powerful and authoritative because they're genuine. Um, there is a quality of genuineness that is very attractive. People tend to hear better when the words are delivered with that kind of a genuine mood. So I just want to thank you a lot for doing a great job, and I hope we'll hear more from you in the future, because I think we can all benefit from hearing from you. Anyway, thank you again. Um, that's all I've got. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for sharing that with me and also saying that you derive some benefit. I feel like, yeah. So thank you. And thank you for everything else that you said as well, and the encouragement, as I am actually very nervous. My throat and my mouth is very dry, like Arjuna. So yeah, thank you so much for the encouragement. All right, we look in the chat as
Hare Krishna, good
Hare
morning.
Krishna. Good morning.
Thank you
It's so good
so
to hear your
much.
voice.
Oh, thank you so much for a wonderful class. Everything that was said already, I agree with. And I was always like, it's over already. I wanted to hear more. I really appreciated you giving the examples of service that falls short of the satisfaction of serving the lotus feet of the Lord. And how we get so attached to these things, especially like career, when you spoke about that, how you can think, oh, I'm doing this great job. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, that's over, and you're left hollow. But I really appreciated when you spoke about Arjuna on the battlefield, and that I could feel it. Like when I've been in that place where you're so afraid and you think the world isn't working out the way I thought it was supposed to, and what's going to happen now. And what I would love to hear from you, though, is a little bit more about then the stability and the joy that does come when we finally do find ourselves at the feet of the devotees, at the feet of the Lord, at the feet of a spiritual master. So if you could just take a moment and just share a little bit about that, I would just so appreciate it, Baba. And thank you again. This is an amazing, wonderful class.
Thank you so much for sharing. And just to repeat the question so that way I actually answer it. You're saying express and share more about the stability and joy that we do find when we do finally take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and the devotees, correct?
Yes.
Okay. With this one, I'm just going to speak from experience. I can't, because my mind can't think of, a Prabhupada quote or very high exalted people. I can just only think about my experience now. But when you are, and I'm sure everybody feels this, when we are in the material world, and especially when we're searching, searching, searching. I mean, all of us are searching, whether we're, actively doing that every single day or not. But when we're searching, 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 looking high and low, lifting up a rock, going and asking the birds and the trees, hey, have you seen it? Have you seen it? Um, it can get very, very it can get very, very lonely, and it always somehow culminates to zero. It always somehow culminates to zero. I just remember I was studying so many things, and putting so much time into studying, studying, studying like a madman. And somehow or other, no matter how many things that I read, it was just always culminating to zero because I couldn't actually, practically use these. Some things I could practically use them, but I'm like, I can't ultimately utilize these things. But getting to actually meet a pure devotee of the Lord, like I mean, I'm sure I maybe have had the mercy to, have be in the same room as them, but not be fully aware of who they are. But really, like getting the mercy of the devotees of the Lord and the Lord. And when you start to learn these things, and then you realize, wait, I am out. I am out. I am out. I don't have to be like, I don't have to give all my time and energy into these things that culminate to zero. And you really truly feel you really truly feel so much joy, and you really truly feel so much safety and stability, because no matter what happens, whether there's an agreement or there's a disagreement, or oh, like this flavor of ice cream, I like that, I don't agree, da 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 da. Regardless, there's still so much real love and joy, because it comes from a place of serving the Lord. To actually be in association every single day with devotees of the Lord is so amazing. And it's not an experience that everybody gets to have. And when we really interact with these devotees, and we receive their love and we receive their care, and just knowing that every single time that I serve you and I'm serving the Lord, you feel that your heart is completely full. You can't even think about why scrubbing the floor makes your heart completely full. You can't even think about why washing the dishes makes your heart completely full. You just know, I feel it's like a child. It's like a child when they finally come back to their mother after playing all day and running and getting scraped up on their knees and all this and all that. When they finally come back to their mother, they feel safe and they can just finally relax because there's stability. There is actual stability. It's not, I have this information, I have that information, I'm enjoying this way, I'm enjoying that way. When you really know that you are protected in the relationship with the Lord, because that is our eternal position, then then we can actually start to feel real joy. That's all I have.
All right, Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we all have, and it's more than enough. Thank you.
Anybody else like to share? We have 4 minutes. We have 3 minutes. Um, Thank you for sharing the example of Arjuna and how his initial stance on the battlefield sounds correct, but pleasing Krishna, serving his lotus feet, transcends all material and moral endeavors. Wonderful class. Yes, that one throws threw me for a loop. I'm like, what? That makes so much sense. Why would he want to fight? And then I'm like, oh, I've been doing this wrong the whole time. Kari Krishna Prabhu said, thank you, Devi, for an interesting take on our self-interest. Gari Krishna Prabhu, if you can hear me, if you'd like to elaborate a little bit or speak a little bit, only if you'd like.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. I just meant, yeah, your take on like vested interest, and we think that if we actually invest our time in that, that's really where our self-interest lies. I like that take. So thank you.
Mhm. Hare Krishna. I don't know who Shahan. Oh no, I think I do know who this is. I'm speculating. Shahnaz. Well, thank you. Um, well, any last connections? All right. Gantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.